Esra saved my life and helped me to get to where I am now, to be happy.
It's non-judgmental, and that comes from the volunteers, the other people who use the service, and the members of staff.
They're just there to help you, and once you've taken that step and walked through the door, it's the best decision that you can make.
It teaches you a positive way of carrying on with your life.
Someone said the other day that they like coming here because it made them feel normal.
Everyone is just so great, really. I mean, we're all in the same boat, which is what makes it so good.
I've been trying to suppress how I felt about myself because I knew that I was in the wrong body. And so I used drink, joined the army, used the drink to try and take everything away and cover so much up that needed covering up. And it came to the stage where I had to do something. And so that's what I did.
When I was serving in Northern Ireland in Belfast, that was the start of my drinking, which was in 1980, January till May 1980. And even then, I didn't accept I was an alcoholic, I just carried on. It was actually after smashing a car up with two people in it, thankfully we all walked away from it, I still carried on drinking.
I went to my doctor and they referred me to CGL, and I went to them and I did my first detox, and it was really positive. We had a really good detox group. We were going to get to 100 days sober, then we were all going to meet up for lunch, blah blah blah, and then COVID hit and everything shut down. And obviously COVID affected a lot of people. A lot of people were isolated at home. What do? You start going back to your old habits. And unfortunately that's what I did.
Well, I was diagnosed with cirrhosis of the liver, and that was a big shock, obviously. So I knew then that I had to, for the sake of my physical health, I had to stop. But also, my relationships were suffering, and I could see, when I was sober, I could see that my relationships were suffering because of my drinking. And that was a very big moment for me to actually acknowledge, because I'd been in denial up until then.
I came to Esra. I was coming once a week while I was still engaging with CGL. Completed the detox successfully. I'm still struggling after the detox, and it was just over a year ago now since I had my last drink.
During lockdown, that I found that I was very dependent on alcohol, and there was no place to hide the addiction. So I gave up alcohol during lockdown, and so Esra was the first place that I came to have face-to-face help.
Once I stopped drinking 5 years ago, I changed my life for good. I came out to the world as being transgender. If I hadn't have done it then, I certainly wouldn't have been sitting here now talking to everybody. Esra saved my life and helped me to get to where I am now, to be happy. And the last 5 years has been the happiest 5 years of my life. I've got so much support from Esra with everything, through everything, not just the recovery, but with my transition and everything else. they're always here, and I can always call or ask for help, and they will always be here, and that has really, really changed my life for good. I've changed everything I do. I've changed the way I eat. You know, I don't, like I say, I've not drunk now for 6.5 years. And I'm just living my life to the full. I'm an ambassador for Help for Heroes, for the LGBT community. And 2 years ago, I went to number 10 Downing Street as part of Help for Heroes. And if somebody had said that to me 6 years ago, that you'll be doing all these things, I would have just laughed at them, because it would never have happened. And that is, for me, all that, you know, I've made so many big changes, and just enjoying life to the full. It really is all down to Esra that saved my life.
Esra's helped me in my recovery because, as I was saying, it reminds me of where I've come from since 1993. So like, I don't like to dwell on it, but it's like 30 years recovery now. But it reminds me by coming here not to be complacent, and as well as giving support, I also still receive support from staff and from other clients. It's very important that I don't forget my alcoholism. When I go through all the tools I've learned in my recovery, and sometimes it doesn't, I can't find one to use, that's the time where I'll come in and I'll talk to one of the staff. So that helps a heck of a lot, because otherwise you sit with a problem between here, and nothing gets resolved, and all you do is spin round and round and round. Like it's like I used to concentrate on how many years my recovery's been, but in one meeting I was talking, and it was, you know, it was said to me about, you know, oh, I'm 20 years sober, I'm 27 years sober. But at the end of the day, then you get into it like a dog in a garden, running round and round and round. But what I learned was you need to branch out from there and like try other things. I go to a drumming circle. There's a retreat on Sunday, which is all stuff that I would not normally have got involved with. But I've learned here to not to bat things away, which I'd normally say straight away, no, that's not me, I'm not interested. It's taught me to try these things before. Sometimes in a crafty way, you know, I've like been given vegetarian meals and everything, you know, no names mentioned. But yes, it's all learning. It's all about trying new things. Because unfortunately, with alcoholism, you tend to get entrenched in your own head. And by coming here and talking to other people, it helps you realise that there is another life. It makes you realise you are worthy. It makes you realise that you have got something to give to society.
It happened about 4 or 5 years ago, and I just realised that I wasn't happy and I needed to sort myself out. And I've actually been through a detox 4 times. So I've been up and down with my recovery. I'm in a good place at the moment. And I've found the support services, particularly Esra, just being around people who know what you're going through. They understand, they're not judgmental, they support you. So I think that is really, really important, because addiction can be quite isolating and you think you're on your own. But then you start talking to people and you realise you're not on your own and you're all in it together. And I think that is really, really important when you're in recovery. But I picked myself up again, went back to the doctor, went back to CGL, went through the process again. got to 315 days without a drink. And then I don't know what happened, but fell off the wagon again. This last time round, for me, the biggest reason I decided it had to be addressed, I'd gone away for a few days in a hotel and I'd got up in the night to go to the toilet, pissed, bypassed the toilet door, ended up outside my hotel room door shut behind me. I pissed all over the floor and I had to go down to main reception to get a spare key. And when I got back, I'm thinking, this is not funny anymore. I've got to address this. I was having the physical side effects as well. So I had the shakes in the morning. I couldn't do any of my artistic, creative things because I was shaking so much. And I realised that this was it. I've got to stop. And my body just will not take alcohol now. And I recognise that. So it's an uphill struggle, but I'm just working at it day in, day out. I can't do no more than that.
I was drinking around 4 bottles of wine a day. Now, wine, as you know, good wine, drinkable wine, is about £8 a bottle now, or then even, and that was, a hell of a lot of. I had no money for anything, so that was another factor. Mending my relationships, that was so important. I now have all my stepchildren, step-grandsons are very difficult. And so that's all in order now. And stepchildren, they're all on my side. And we've built really close, loving relationships. And they will now phone me as often as they phone their father. And bearing in mind that they're not mine, that gives me so much joy.
That's a big achievement.
They wouldn't have had I still been drinking. They were, at one point, they were begging me to stop doing it, and I wasn't listening.
Been come to Esra since my mum died, so that was in 2017. And originally I came here to do the recovery coach training because I was in a good place. I've been to rehab in 2014. I went through the system with Star over the road CGL, and when I came to Esra, it was to do something that's called recovery coaching, which was quite a lot of training, and it went on for quite a few months. It didn't kind of work out, but that doesn't matter because once I was here in Esra, I was asked to facilitate 3 groups during, because Esra was open 5 days a week then, so I was facilitating 2 peer groups and a men's group. So everything was fine until pretty much when COVID arrived. It was something that the members of staff picked up on. They knew I was struggling, so I was up for it and I was honest about it. And they got me signposted to CGL over the road. So I went in. I can't remember which year it was. It was the year following COVID. That's what happened. I came to Esra. I was coming once a week while I was still engaging with CGL. Completed the detox successfully. I'm still struggling after the detox, and it was so just over a year ago now since I had my last drink.
I think that you could say that giving up is either the hardest thing or perhaps the easiest thing. I think much harder is keeping yourself in your sobriety, and coming here has helped me enormously. Someone said the other day that they like coming here because it made them feel normal, and I think to have someone else with the same problem and to share that is extremely important when you're doing it. Also, somewhere to come where you feel normal, or a place where you can go, feel supported, relate to others, speak to other people who are in similar positions. I think that's a great help to most people.
You know, there's dinner Monday, Wednesday and Friday.
That was alright. Yeah, I've never had any complaints whatsoever.
Bangers and mash. Oh, nice. Mash the size of it.
Yeah, there's lemon drizzle on the menu today if you want some of that.
Coming here has helped me enormously. Someone said the other day that they like coming here because it made them feel normal. And I think to have someone else with the same problem and to share that is extremely important when you're doing it. Also, somewhere to come where you feel normal, or a place where you can go.
The staff are lovely, they never judgment you. It doesn't matter how many times I've come back and said, I've lapsed again, come back to us. I do the groups here, you know, I love doing the artistic stuff. Through Esra, I've had my writing published in a fanzine. I've had my artwork done on a bus stop in Hastings Town Centre. It's all stuff that I would never have had the opportunity to do if I hadn't come to Esra.
Try not to ruminate on the past. I've noticed that I'm not having so many army-related nightmares anymore. And they were constant, like nearly every night. And this is 40 years down the road from when I served. You know, so it's a big learning curve, and this is why I enjoy coming here. And also, as I say to people, it's a safe space.
Esra's helped me through coming for groups and all the other little things that go on with Esra, like the baking, the walks, the beach cleaning. It's so mindful and helps with your mental health and everything else. And I enjoy coming over once a week. And even after 6 years.
There's no need to be nervous because everybody has experience of what you're going through. Nobody will judge you. That's the other thing that I think makes people nervous. Oh, will they judge me? Will they think somehow I'm not up to scratch because I've got this terrible problem? And you very, very swiftly learn from your first day. You learn to be comfortable because everyone is just so great, really. We're all in the same boat.